Hi guys, welcome to Just Perf podcast. We often talk about gender diversity at work, but what we tend to miss out on discussing is the number of women who are part of the leadership in corporate India. I got a chance to speak to Ragini Das, co-founder of Leap.club, and I think as a platform, Leap has done exceptionally well in last one and a half year in bridging that gap. Born during pandemic, Leap pivoted completely from an offline model to now an online model, and which speaks volume about the founding team. I've known Ragini personally. I've never come across a person who is so fierce and so dynamic as an entrepreneur. I'm not gonna hold you guys back with a long intro, but we'll jump straight into the podcast because I'm sure you're gonna love this one. For you guys, this is Ragini Das on Just Parv. Hi, Ragini. Welcome to Just Perf podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out. I know it's been a busy schedule for you. There's a long waiting list. The way you guys are ramping up, I think that's exceptional. But thank you so much for taking time out on a weekday, especially.
No, no problem at all. Happy to be here, Parv.
Great. So it's a Just Parv tradition, Ragni. We give two food options to choose from. In your case, I've made a slight change because I personally know
As
what
long as
the
it's not
answer
chola
is.
bhatura, I'm game.
So, of course, there's going to be chola bhatura, but we have another food option for you. So, if you were to choose between chola bhatura and Hyderabadi biryani, what would it be?
Biryani wins any day.
Damn, I thought you're gonna go for chola bhatura.
No, not at all. I'm a biryani girl through and through.
Super. Great. So we'll not take much time and we'll jump straight into the questions. Like we discussed, there are going to be two parts to this. In the first part, we'll talk more about how women are growing in corporate world. And in second part of the conversation, we'll talk more about your entrepreneurial journey as co-founder of Leap. So jumping straight into the first question, Ragini, there's a big problem statement, right? And everyone literally talks about it, but we really don't see it happening in real life, which is we talk about we need more women leaders. Uh, but
Yeah.
it's a fact that almost 20 to 25% of leadership is represented by women and rest all are males. Where is the gap? Why is it that we still are lingering at that 20-25% number?
So let me start by just correcting you there, Parv. The 21% number is a US number.
Okay.
India is at a shameful 8%. 8%
Wow.
women in India are in leadership, right? And I
Mhm.
think the disparity is at the first level itself. And it's called the broken rung, by the way, right? So for every 100 men who are
Yeah.
hired, promoted to, the manager level at the entry level, 72 women are hired and promoted, right? And this, by the way, obviously, I'm sure you've seen in your career, I've seen in my career, it decreases at every
Absolutely.
subsequent level. So the rate of progress itself is so slow that it's going to take 200 years to achieve that parity at C-suite alone, right?
Mhm.
And lots of reasons. One basic one is just the lack of role models, right? We don't have, and when I say we, I literally talk about all the women
Yeah.
who've seen that journey, right? Like we don't have enough role models to look up to.
True.
Two, it is a very, very unfair playing field. And there is obviously some sort of unconscious bias, not just in men, but even in women, right? We're still looked at as primary caregivers for children and for the family. And now more than ever, like especially in the last 1 year, right? Like
Yeah.
with I think schooling happening on Zoom, uh, taking care of parents, taking care of the entire family. I think it's just gotten tougher.
Yeah.
And of course, we have a network of high flyers even in our Leap community, right? And even they will tell you how the conversation of, say, a maternity leave or anything of that sort has completely stalled their career trajectory, right? And
Right.
like I said, the pandemic has just made it 10 times tougher.
Yeah.
Sexual harassment, very, very common in the
Mhm.
workplace, right? Also, why a lot of women not just drop off, but don't even enter that workforce, right? And
Yep.
I think the biggest one for me, which also kind of was my problem statement when I started Leap, was just the fact that we don't have dependable networks, right? I genuinely think that a strong network or a support group, right? It's so important for your career's growth, right? And because there aren't enough women at the top, these networks or these YPOs, etc., they just end up becoming all boys clubs, right?
Yep.
And the agendas they drive don't even kind of consider the kind of things that women face at leadership positions, right?
True.
And I'm not saying that the last 2 decades haven't changed things. And of course, you admire an Irina Vittal
Yeah.
and you admire a Indra Nooyi or a Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, right? But
Yeah.
even in 2021, getting to where they are is, I guess, a dream that's far too surreal for most women.
Yeah.
Even at Leap, I meet such amazing women in sports, in real estate, in public policy, startups, corporates, right? Like, I think my mind has exploded in the last 1 year of when it comes to the kind of women I've met and across domains, right? But
Right.
not to say there isn't work to do when it comes to gender diversity, right? And of course, there are companies taking measures, etc. But India today is still fifth from bottom when it comes to women in leadership, right? And fifth from bottom. It's terrible.
Yep. Absolutely, and cannot agree more. In fact, let's talk more about the entire process when you were starting Leap, right? There are podcasts where you've talked about the entire journey, where you met a lot of women to understand what was the basic problem, what kind of challenges they were actually facing in the entire
Yeah.
corporate world. So, if you can just share with our listeners, what were some of the most common challenges which you came across, which people shared with you?
So I think when Leap started, it actually didn't start with us researching on, okay, women, what do you face, right? I think
Yep.
it started with a basic problem statement of professional networking is broken. And I
Okay.
think a lot of people, even on Twitter or on LinkedIn, they keep talking about how LinkedIn needs to be unbundled, right? And how there is like absolute zero moderation, full clutter, all of that. So that's how Anand and I started. And when we started researching, we spoke to around 400 people. And this at that time part was gender agnostic, and
Okay.
it was industry agnostic, and it was years of experience agnostic, right? So we spoke to men, we spoke to women, we
Mhm.
spoke to people at Zomato, we spoke to people at MMT, we spoke to people across, right? And even startups or even journalists and everyone. And people then spoke about how, of course, like the number of connections you have don't matter, but like
Yep.
smaller things that drive impact, right? That add value to your professional growth matters. Smaller
Mhm.
things like coaching. Why is executive coaching so expensive? I can't pay 50,000 an hour for like a coaching session, right? Or just the fact that this entire mentoring system, mentor mentee, this entire system is so broken, right? Because it requires both parties to be super engaged. Being
Right.
mentally happy, mental wellness, and how that's broken, right, at the workplace. And
Mhm.
just, I think, access to industry leaders and people who will truly add value to your professional growth is
Mhm.
something that people spoke a lot about. And this was, of course, like I said, gender industry agnostic. But I think the way women spoke about it and how
Mhm.
they spoke about the lack of everything just
Yeah.
helped us kind of think more.
Okay.
People pick a strata of society, they pick a certain age group. We picked a gender to go after, right? It
Mhm.
gave us a very strong mission, something that we believe in, but also a decent go to market strategy. And that's what we did. And we of course, like when we started, we put out like a placeholder website. There was the wait list. We call the Zomato Gold model because that's what we know best. And yeah, we just started. Anand and I started putting out social posts, and we just said, okay, something cool is coming, and join the wait list, and that's how it started. So that was the journey in a nutshell.
Great. So, are we saying that when you reached out, and since when you started, there was no bias towards any gender, uh, were the problems or the challenges pretty much similar, or were you really able to identify that probably this is more specific to women versus men?
I think just dependable networks, right? Like the fact that I don't have a network beyond people I go to
Hmm.
office with. I
Yeah.
think that is something women spoke a lot about. Mental wellness, of
Okay.
course, both genders spoke about, but women spoke a lot about, again, a lot more coaching, and just the fact that most women don't have access to executive coaches. Forget
Right.
executive coaches, even wellness coaches, right? Even when companies sponsor this, because it's only given to the C-suite, women don't end up getting it. But
True.
why should they not get it, right?
Absolutely.
So I think it was a mix of course, both genders saying similar things. Having said that, the way women spoke about it was just slightly more. I think it came more from the heart because of
Yeah.
the lack of all these resources.
Absolutely. And how does this entire community concept work? It's a community platform. It's a social platform, and probably Ragini will be able to talk about it more in the second part of the podcast. It's a community-based platform. There are micro networks which are created, and then there are women who are part of those networks who are literally working together and helping each other out. But Ragini, if you can throw more light around, how does this entire micro networking platform community add relevance to the entire ecosystem, or just help to fill the gap out there?
So I think just let me call out what Leap does, right? We're
Yeah.
a one paid social professional network. Members pay us 900 rupees every month to be a part of this network. What they get access to is a bunch of things. One is access to the entire community and the chance to kind of connect with them. They get access to micro communities, like you said. So social and professional groups. So there's a crypto club, there is a women in product, there is a yoga club, there is women in, for example, recruitment and HR,
Yeah.
right? So there is a mix of social and professional groups that exist, and of course, we have access to master classes and cohort-based courses and literally everything L&D that you will require in one. It's a one-stop solution in some sense, right?
Sure.
How this basically helps Parv is one, they get access to people who are invested in their growth as much as they are invested in their own, right? It's not a takers only platform, right? We have a very, very early Airbnb approach to Leap, right? We speak to every single customer. And I know this sounds crazy when you listen to this in 2021, but it's what's made Leap today, right? So my sales
Yep.
team basically to every single person before we onboard them. There is a clear expectation setting with respect to what we offer, what they offer to the community. And we literally call out that we need them to build Leap with us and not just for them. So when these women come together and connect, whether that's one-on-one or whether that's, in the one-to-many chats or huddles and all of that happens on the platform, of
Yep.
course, there's bound to be magic happening. There are people who found co-founders. There are people who have found jobs. There are people who are helping each other. There are quiz clubs. There is
Yeah.
a book club, right? So just in terms of lots of social and professional interactions happening. And this person may or may not help me today, but 3 years later, when I'm applying at Google, yes, that lady will refer you because you
Right.
are a part of that Leap community that she's so closely kind of associated with in some sense.
Sure. There's one aspect whenever we're talking about not women empowerment, but let's say women who are now gradually uh, working in corporate segments, and the way women are now financially independent. There's one example which I can recall where Kunal Shah in one of his interviews mentioned where urban women in India is just what 10-15% financially independent versus China and versus even countries like Bangladesh, right? Uh, while I'm sure you've come across so many wonderful entrepreneurs working corporates, what is it that you feel can be done more towards bridging that gap whenever we talk about financial independence? We'll stick to just urban women. Of course, if we move towards tier two,
Yeah.
metro, tier three, I think it's going to be a very complex problem to solve. But let's say even if we stick to just urban women, metro cities, what is it more that can be done to make today's women more financially independent?
I think personally, and this is my take completely, I think financial literacy is such a deep and not spoken about much topic, right? It's something I have to be honest started thinking about only in the last year and a half, because these solid women who basically have taken out time to kind of educate me, right? And not just for women, but I think both genders need to start demarcating the difference between financial literacy, financial independence, and financial freedom. Like all three are extremely different concepts. So really, it starts from understanding the difference between what are your assets, what are your liabilities, what counts as savings, what counts as investments, right? And not delaying those investment decisions. Now, whether that's a Zerodha for you or a mutual fund for you or a PF for you, depending on what your risk appetite looks like. But really understanding that and understanding the power of compounding, right? So I guess talk to friends who talk money, read more, educate yourself. Worst case, get yourself a financial expert, right? But start, because I'm really hoping that the generations ahead, thanks to all the crypto talk that's happened in the last 1 year, is a lot more financially sound and aware than at least we were, right? I think the problem with India is kids end up doing whatever their parents tell them. So whether parents are okay with mutual funds or stocks, then they do that. But I think those days are gone, and it just needs to kind of, you need to get your finances in your own hands. So that's my take.
So moving on to the last question for this part of the podcast, Ragini, one change which, as per you, if you were to bring that change in the corporate India, what would that be?
That's very easy. More women in leadership, so we can get some work done.
Spot on. I think that's correct. And, these conversations keep happening in our groups also, where we can literally see the leadership being so skewed when it comes to gender, right? And I've had those conversations in my organization as well, where people have literally walked up saying, why is it that when we look at the stage, let's say there's an event, why is it that all the CXOs are male and there is no female? So I think that's how it is. But you're correct. Probably with startups like Leap coming into picture, giving that kind of support system to the entire framework, I'm pretty sure we'll be there.
Not just startups like Leap, Parvan, if I may, right? I think there's a lot that corporates can do here. It starts from the leadership, to be very honest, right? It's the experience that the leader's creating and the safe space she's ensuring to make sure that there is work happening here. And it shouldn't ideally be restricted to one day in a year. So every March, someone wants to do something. Don't do that. I think don't restrict these workshops for certain type of people. And I'm talking D&I overall, not just women, right? So ensuring that it's an ongoing process. Building a really, really effective mentoring community. I lucked out with the best bosses and mentors in my professional journey. And I don't think Leap would have happened today had they not been a part of that journey, right? So I think just understanding that men need to be a part of this conversation and there's no growth happening without that is very, very important.
True.
And I think just understand what people really want. Everyone doesn't want a Harvard course, right? So understand what growth means for these people, give them that and do your best to kind of make them win. And these are just some small steps that literally any company, whether you're like a MNC or a startup, you can do. And these are things one should do, right? It doesn't take big budgets.
Absolutely. I hope you liked split 1 of our podcast with Ragini Das. Leave your feedback in the comments section. If you really like the video, click on the like button. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, do click on subscribe. We have some interesting guests lined up in coming weeks.